Hello and welcome to another episode of the Leadership Lens, where we speak with global leaders on what's trending in the ecosystem. Today we have with us Satish Meena, who is the founder of Datum Intelligence. Now, Datum Intelligence is your go-to resource for insightful data, analysis, trends, and predictions related to consumer behavior globally. So everything's that changing with the consumer, all the new spaces that they are exploring, all the new platforms that they're exploring, what to expect in 2025 is something that Datum will be able to demystify for you. Its goal is to empower businesses with actionable insights based on this data, based on these surveys that they perform, and provide strategic growth initiatives for the same. Satish, welcome to the Leadership Lens. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Shiny. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
So, Satish, without much ado, let me quickly first ask you a little bit more about Datum. I think it's a fairly new organization. What was the thought behind starting Datum? What is the background that you come from?
So, I have a background in market research and data for almost 12 years. In my previous role, I was with Forrester covering this space. And most of the work which I was doing is to understand how big the market opportunity is and how consumer behavior, why the way they are using technology is changing, and how that is impacting categories in India and globally. So, and the other thing, which since I was covering APAC as a market, there's a lot of we used to research a lot about the Chinese market and trying to figure out whether there's something which can be replicated in the Indian market or the South Asian market. And the overall thing was just to understand how the behavior can be replicated, how the impact is going to be on multiple categories, because customers, once they change something, in one category, they want to see something similar in multiple categories because their behavior is something very similar. So when I was thinking this, we thought that now in India also we need more data. Brands need more data. As customers are becoming more digital, brands are also spending a lot of time and money on digital channels. They need more insights. They need how frequently the customer is changing and what's motivating their behavior to change. And that's where we thought, this is the time to start Datum, and we, started covering early this year.
Wonderful. And with the new year coming in, we are into the world of predictions and into the world of understanding what's going to be new. So what's going to be new according to Datum Intelligence? What are going to be the headliner changes for 2025?
So I think, a lot of things have already started. It's not that, you will see something very new from 1st of Jan. We have seen some seeds already across industries in terms of what consumers are going to do, what brands are going to do. So just to give you a sense, in EdTech, we have, the market may be around 18 billion or 17, 18 billion at this point of time. And fairly distributed equally, it would be in search, display, and video. And one thing which when we talk to customers is, and we will see more of this next year, is the impact of short video and video format on their purchasing behavior. This is something which is going to be more impactful next year. You will see more brands investing in video format of ads or maybe UGC formats of ad, because customers are spending a lot of time on these platforms, and this is now reached a certain value where the influence on purchasing is much bigger. So you will see brands giving video much bigger budgets and also much importance in terms of how do they see reaching out to customers into this. The other thing which is already there is one thing which still very early, because if you talk about retail media, is where retailers are using their footfalls or their clicks on their website to make sure their brands spend more. We have already seen Amazon and Flipkart, combinedly maybe around 12,000 crore business doing in ads. But we still don't see any of our offline retailers making use of their footfalls. So just for an example, Reliance Retail gets almost 300 million footfalls every quarter, and around 50 million for Shoppers Stop. but they are not very targeted in terms of how to make use of these footfalls to make sure that they use the media spending of brands when to show to customers some kinds of ads or something. So that's something uh, it's not happened as of now, but we may see something happening in an early stage next year. Other than that, brands have increasingly started looking at e-commerce as a channel where they spend more money. And if you talk to anyone from Zepto, Blinkit to Swiggy Instamart, everyone's focusing on there so that brands can spend more money. I think all of them have a run rate of more than 1,000 crore as of now in terms of ad revenue, and it will grow because this is where brands will shift some of their budgets from Amazon and Flipkart, especially the food and beauty cosmetics brand, and also from some other traditional channels because that's where we see their high growth. If you talk to any FMCG company, their fastest growing channel is e-commerce at this point of time. So they will also make sure that this channel is decently funded, and they give more money to this channel in terms of marketing. And the other things which are which is something in terms of how brands see the market growing is technically using some of their TV budgets or some of their print media budget towards e-commerce or the digital channels. That's something which is happening, and it will continue happen this year also.
Wonderful, Satish. So we're saying that short video, retail media, and quick commerce, of course, are the headliners, the brightly trending rockets for 2025. On short video, we see what are the devices do you see? Because I see a lot of conversation by short video is obviously very popular on mobile. Do you also see connected television or CTV growing in this space?
Yes, so CTV, if you, yeah, so I think that's something which is one other device which is becoming more powerful. So if you see, our estimate is we may have around 30 million connected TV households at this point of time. And that's a big enough in terms of the number of devices any media channel needs. So now you will see this becoming more important channel. And the role of video also plays into this because you have bigger screen, you have customers dedicated to you at that point of time, and also you can target, you can personalize when you want to show up to the event, because you can target the events where customers are, a large chunk of customers are viewing it, maybe a football match, it may be a cricket match, it may be a movie which is recently premiered and everything. So connected TV, yes, that's a device which you will, you should monitor next year, because now we have a base which is significant enough for brands to move money into it.
So you're saying connected TV has hit critical mass.
Yes.
And from now on, we should see the forward movement. I think there was some struggle over the last 2 years, but we've hit critical mass by 2025 and should move forward.
Yeah.
I think that is great news. The QC piece that you'll be talking about, and you're saying a lot of FMCG brands are moving monies from your Amazon, Flipkart to quick commerce to your Zepto and Blinkit, or from other channels. So 2 questions here. One is, I've heard some FMCG brands saying that while they're moving monies, the volume of sales that they're seeing hasn't really moved. Only the channel has shifted. So what was being sold on Amazon is probably now getting sold on a Zepto. Is this true? Is this the reality?
So it's not, because of FMCG companies. So if you go back to the customers, how customers are changing their channel. So technically what used to happen is for FMCG, your preferred purchase was maybe a local kirana store or a modern retail store, depending on what you purchase. Your weekly or monthly purchase go to modern retail, maybe DMart or those things. Your last minute purchases are kirana. And then you have Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket, these online grocery providers for those who are looking convenience. Now what is happening is the convenience of online plus the last minute purchase of kirana and the better pricing of DMart not exactly as DMart, but all these things are combined together on a quick commerce. So the shift what we have noticed is, instead of going to these three locations, customers have moved a large chunk of their monthly purchase to quick commerce. So, and it's not that, they started consuming more. The household consumption is not going to increase, but if channel aggregation is happening, channel shift is happening, and so the volume they might be going to a modern retail or kirana, all of them have started to quick commerce. And the reason the volumes have not increased or you're not seeing increased sale, it's little early. We have maybe technically 4 quarters where we see this kind of scale. So maybe next year you will see, they will be able to generate more volumes, but still it's very small. Almost 90% of our FMCG purchase is unorganized. This is just maybe less than 1%. So they're not able to showcase that kind of volume jump for FMCG companies. But the speed at which the channel has taken a scale and the speed at which you will see more investment by quick commerce platforms, that is much bigger. And so it's not going to give you a significant jump in volume, but your channel shift is already happening. Wait for 3-4 years to get that kind of volume jump, because technically, a large chunk is still offline in our case.
Correct. So as organized retail increases, the percentage, and we have a huge way to go there. So
Very
a
early.
lot of promise there.
And
Right.
and for customer, you see, it's a better way of buying grocery. And once they have experienced this, they're not going to plan anything that I have to plan for grocery purchase, because they are technically getting almost 99% of things they're ordering. Remember, there's a selection issue. They don't have that many options. But in grocery, your 80% purchase is anyways decided. This is the brand I'm going to repeat. This is the things I'm going to repeat. So they're not very concerned at this point of time in terms of selection. Selection is also something which these companies will work in future. But at this point of time, the whole experience of buying on quick commerce is much superior than anything else. And that's where convenience plays a bigger role, and customers are not going to go back to any other channel once they started doing this.
Correct. And I think we are seeing that shift, not just from Amazon, but like you said, from your DMart and from your Kirana stores as well. And that is all in the news now. A lot of backlash around going, Kirana stores going out of business, and what should be their strategy to, hold on to that loyal customer base. What is your thoughts on that?
So, Kirana is where most of our FMCG sales and everything happens. But the competition right now is not all India. It's limited to top 8 to 10 cities between Kiranas and quick commerce, because that's where the customers are at this point of time. We still don't know what will happen once we move beyond these 10 cities in terms of whether they will be able to back Kirana or not. But in 10 cities, consider this: you have an area in Bangalore or Mumbai, wherever 6 dark stores are there between these 5 and 6 players, and they are doing almost 1,500 orders per day. How much extra orders a kirana can serve? And it's not that this will fulfill the whole demand of the city, but the customers who are spending more, the households who are spending more, they have more volumes, they have more buying more categories, all of them will be taken care by quick commerce. You still have a lot of customers who are going to purchase, but volumes will not come from there. So that's where the competition is. As of now, it's not all India. It's limited to the zip codes where you are competing with these 6 dark stores, which are very well equipped to cater to customers in 10 minutes. And they have a better selection, because, if you see the early days of quick commerce, they have 2000 SKUs. Now the quick commerce dark stores are on an average maybe around 15,000 SKUs. So their SKU numbers are increasing. They're adding more categories as and when people go. They are adding fashion, they're adding small appliances. So they are technically replicating a DMart there, because you can do everything there. They're not replicating Kirana store in terms of SKU, but they are giving you the benefit of buying just from a nearby store, but you have better selection, but now large number of categories and everything. So that makes it very difficult for kiranas to compete in this case. And it's still the kiranas will go online, they will start taking orders on WhatsApp and everything, but that's still a very tough task against these players, because the comfort and the convenience which these are providing is much greater at this point of time for customers.
Absolutely. I think the scale at which QC has grown in the last 4 quarters, it's going to be very difficult for anyone, forget kirana stores, for anyone to replicate that kind of scale and convenience and the 10-minute and the 50,000 SKUs. So it is going to be a tough game moving forward for kirana stores, is what we're seeing into 2020 as of now, right? In 2025 as of now.
Yes.
Satish, another question that I had was, I saw some great research that you had on the festive season around Diwali and, Bhai Dooj and all those festive. What are your predictions for Christmas and New Year coming forward? How is spend going to happen? Where is the growth going to come from?
So if you see, the festive season or the Black Friday of India is Diwali season, where, just before Diwali, where in September and or October first week, where most of our spending happens. And that's where, it's not about brands. The customers are also in the mindset that this is the time I have to spend just for festivals. They have two types of purchases. One is the planned purchase, that I have to buy a refrigerator or washing machine or a TV. That's the time I will get the best offer. Best models are being launched at this point of time, and there is a festive, behavior of customer that I can spend a little more. A lot of this is being driven by EMIs, because a lot of our bigger appliances, smartphone, everything is purchased on EMI. So that's where most of the spending is already happened. If you see in terms of festive spending, there are multiple waves of so small waves. One, we saw a Black Friday event. If you see, a lot of offline brands have started using this keyword of, like, online brands have started doing this to make sure that they bring footfalls or bring clicks to their websites, and that will keep on happen. But in terms of the categories which we see are going to be more important before festive, one is gifting. This is becoming more and more important right now for Indian customers. Travel related accessories is good. Fashion is again, we see a lot of purchase due to weather change, especially in North India. So that is something. Plus, customers start to travel during this period, and they also refresh their wardrobes for traveling and everything. Then I think there are other categories, especially into appliances, where your heater, air purifiers, those are some things which are still becoming bigger. Smartphones, this is not the big time for smartphone update. That's happened during after September or during the festive period. So it's fashion, travel, gifting, beauty, cosmetics, those kind of things are mainly at this point of time. Then you will see next quarter when, again, schools closes for vacation and everything. So that's where you'll see next phase of sales. Or maybe there's one round comes near 26 Jan, there's going to be again one round of sales. I think that's second or third largest in terms of sales in India after Big Billion Day and the shopping festival which is there, and then Rakhi. That's again a much bigger event in India.
Wonderful. So 26 Jan, and from now to around 26 Jan, the categories that are going to dominate are travel, fashion, appliances, and gifting, right?
Yes.
So I think great conversation on what to expect going forward into 2025. And last question for you, I think we had a wonderful conversation. AI and Gen AI, this is, the keyword, the buzzword, everything AdTech is going to be talking about in 2025. What are your thoughts on how this is being used for e-commerce? How do you see brands using this effectively?
So in this, we are seeing brands using in two roles at a scale at this point. First is on the listing and creatives part, where you are using it to generate a better optimized listing, and for the marketplace platforms or your own website. And second is to generate creatives, because which creative will work. It gives brands more easy access to run more experiments, which creative will work, which will not. So that's where we have already seen brands are doing it on this part. And this is going to increase because a lot of brands have experimented on this in the last 6 months. They now know the text, because it's not, it's not still there's no template as of now. So everyone is using it and making their own templates that, this is how we can scale it up. And you will see more brands doing this in next year. The second thing where AI is using is their ad optimization. That's where a lot of platforms have already used AI to make sure that they're optimizing the ads, listing their budgets in terms of how they are using it, at what time, using the data analysis to figure out at what time they should increase the budgets, they should reduce the budgets. So that is something which is already happening. And the other areas in which brands are using is the product research, where they're using the data from marketplaces, data from listing and everything to make sure that they do the research for new products. On all these three things, brands have started using it. And every year you will see as the tools also improve, more brands started using it. You will see the scale at which they start using it will increase. But it's already happening, and you might be seeing a lot of brands started becoming more aggressive in this. Those who have done it for last 6 to 8 months, they know the tools now. They have much better team to it. A lot of brands started doing so that for them maybe another 6 months, but it says 6 to 8 months learning period, and then everyone will start using it at scale.
Scale for use of AI will increase. Any new forms of use that you predict going into 2025 will be coming?
So that is thing. In videos, you will see a lot of experimentation happening at this point of time. Then you will see with AI you have a functionality of creating it more personalized. You can make it more quicker. You can do it more accurately. So that is something which will happen. And videos, you will see more experiment certainly in this.
So overall, video is the key space to look out for investments.
Video, yeah, because it's there for some time. It's not that video is not there. We spend maximum time on YouTube. If you see Indian viewers, and short video apps are there. Our short video apps are still not at level of TikTok. The kind of functionality which they can offer to brands, or we don't have a TikTok store equivalent at this point of time. So we're still behind, but brands have started using it to make sure that they influence the customers. And remember, the most important customer at this point of time in India is the Gen Z customer. That's where brands are focusing most of their strategies, most of their products, because A, they are the consumers, they are spending a lot of money. B, they are the influencers also. So they are making sure that what brands are being purchased in the household, on the friends network, family network, they are deciding that part also, even if they're not directly spending it. So that's where these tools, which are more used by Gen Zs, are being preferred by parents. So you are seeing a faster refresh of fashion catalogs. You are seeing a different kind of video content created by OTT platforms. The likes of MX players or mini TV. They are focusing only on this audience, and brands will focus on advertising on these, because they want to, if they want to target this audience, you will have to work with this. So that is a lot of customization already happening. And this is an audience, almost 300 million of Gen Z customers, is where most of the brands will also retarget and refocus on how to influence these customers, because that's where money is.
Wonderful. So video and Gen Z are the two keywords that brands need to go away with. And of course, quick commerce is growing really quickly. So good year to look forward to in 2025. Lots of exciting new things happening. Thank you for sharing these insights with us, Satish. It was great speaking with you today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Take care.